Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. It is Wednesday, new release day here on the channel. We got a really good one for you here today in this episode. Not that we don't always try to get you the best stuff here when we do the new album reviews, but it doesn't always happen, right? This one, however, is quite good. This is brand new, hot off the presses on Napalm Records, the 13th studio album from the great symphonic power metal band Kamelot. The album is called The Awakening. Now, I'm going to do a little mini rant here before we get started. So, this is a slipcase. So, Chris Allen and Jamie Laszlo always kind of get on my case when it comes to slipcases, whether it be for CDs or Blu-rays, DVDs, and whatnot. If you're going to put a slipcase on something, make it notable. This slipcase is, to me, absolutely ridiculous because this is a killer album cover or CD cover. I don't know what this adds to it, right? Is it protecting the digipack? Oh, I guess it is, right? But this is preventing you from seeing the great artwork. If you're going to put a slipcase on a digipack, either make the cover of it kick-ass, just like this, or do the exact same thing. Because you did the exact same back, right, which is pictures of the guys. But you got this great cover that if you're walking around, you want to show this off, people are going to be like, what is that? Is that a K? What's the, killer cover. I'd rather just see this. Do we need this? Whatever. Anyway, let's take a look at this before we get started. Like I said, 13th album, Napalm Records from Kamelot. There are other guys in the band. Lots of, as always with these Kamelot albums, lots of really cool artwork. Booklet is no exception. Lyrics. There's Tommy, pictures of the guys in the bands. All right, there's Sean. They're all in here. Probably skipped over a few. Anyway, yeah, they're all in here. Where's Mr. Youngblood? There's Alex on drums. I've got to show you everybody here. I don't want anybody to feel left out. Where is Mr. Youngblood? Sean. There's Thomas Youngblood. There he is. All right, so the guys in the band. Tommy Karavik on vocals, of course, also with Seventh Wonder. This is his, fourth album with the band? I'm losing track. Third or fourth? I think it's fourth. We got Thomas Youngblood on guitars. Oliver Palatai on keyboards, Sean Tibbetts on bass, and Alex Landerberg on drums. I believe this is his first album with the band. So we got a slew of guest stars, as always, produced also by Sasha Pyeth and the band, mixed and mastered by Jakob Hansen. So we've got Tina Guo on cello on a couple tracks. You've got Florian Januski violin on a track. You got Cobra Page operatic ghost voice on one song. You got Simone Simmons, guest vocals on one song, of course, from Epica. You've got Melissa Bonney, clean and dark vocals on one track. You got Sasha Pyeth, plays some additional guitars, and I'm assuming he does some of the harsh vocals. So there are, Kamelot on their last handful of albums, they utilize, because of course Tommy is an amazing singer. Great melodic, powerful voice. But they do utilize on some of their darker themed songs, they do utilize, it's very slight. Underneath on some of the choruses and occasionally on their own, they'll have someone do a kind of like slightly little gruff, harsh, it's kind of somewhere between black and death metal, thrash type of a thing. But it's just always very fleeting, but they're there. And they're meant to portray a character in a lyric, right? But they're used very, very sparingly. They've done this for quite a while. They don't list who does that on this album. I'm assuming it's Sasha Pyeth, but I'm not really sure. You also have Miro, plays some additional keyboards and things, and then a whole bunch of other people appearing on backing vocals and choirs and things like that. So, yeah. So, how is the album, you might ask? It's funny, George Lemay and I were talking when this first came out, and George was telling me, he says, I think this album is like a bit more immediate upon first, second listen, and it just, the songs are a bit more memorable in the last couple albums. I've loved almost every single Kamelot album. I think they've been on a terrific roll. But I will be the first to say that some of their albums take a while to kind of sink in. Some of them are growers, right? They don't hit you on first, second, third listen. You got it. Just kind of keep trying with them, and the rewards will come later on. To me, that wasn't the case with this album at all. I found from the very first listen, a handful of tracks were just absolutely jumping out at me and grabbing me, and the more I listened to it, the more these songs are just kind of like really, really sinking in quite well. Great choruses, lots of good heavy riffs, loads of keyboards, right? You always got lots of symphonic keyboards on these tracks, but man, there's just this sense of drama and grandioseness on this album that I just really, really love. Some of the killer tracks right off the bat. The Great Divide is absolutely terrific. I really like Eventide as well. One More Flag in the Ground is good. Opus of the Night, Ghost Requiem, killer song. Midsummer's Eve is great. Blood Moon is heavy. Crunchy. Great chorus. Chugging guitars. Nice spooky keyboards. Night Sky is very memorable. You got the wonderful Looking Glass. Another potential cut of the album, or best cut of the album I should say, is New Babylon. That's got, like I said, Simone sings on that, as well as Melissa. Got little bits of those kind of harsh vocals on there as well. New Babylon is terrific. It's big, it's symphonic, it's anthemic. Absolutely great song. Willow's really good. Another one of my favorite tracks is My Pantheon, Forevermore. It's My Pantheon and Forevermore in parentheses. Arguably the heaviest song on the album. It's got a killer riff. It's just hard charging, heavy, crunchy power metal. And then the album ends with, you have an intro and an outro on this album. You got Overture and Ephemera. Both are kind of like symphonic synthesizer keyboard driven things that are like, minute and a half, 2 minutes long. Oh, God, why does every album like this have to do that, right? Because to me, it's just like I would have loved the album to end on My Pantheon, which just terrific barnstorming track. But I get lots of these bands like to do that sort of thing, which is fine. So ultimately, this is a highly enjoyable album that I think when it's all said and done, again, I've had it for a week, right? I've listened to it like a handful of times, and many of you are going to be asking, well, Pete, where would you put this in the ranking of all the Kamelot albums? I don't know. I've had it for a week. Talk to me in 6 months. But I will say, like George and I were talking about, I think this just hit me quicker, pulled me in much quicker than the last few, like all of which have been terrific. But sometimes albums like these, they don't, you have to give them lots of time before you really start to kind of get all of the arrangements and maybe the lyrical storyline, and there's lots going on in some. This just, the songs are bangers, and they stand great on their own. They're even better in the whole of the album. I think the album flows really well, but it's quite heavy. It's quite symphonic for all you guys who like the proggier edge of bands like this. There's plenty of that. If you want the metal, there's lots of metal. It's a pretty damn heavy album. Tommy is singing great. I think Tommy Karavik is one of our absolute treasures when you're talking about progressive metal and power metal, right? He's got the two bands going now. One is more progressive metal. This one obviously more power metal. Both very symphonic, both very melodic. I think Tommy, terrific, great addition to this band. And, Thomas Youngblood, terrific guitar player. We got great keyboards on here. The production is spot on as always. Great sounding CD. I really can't say anything bad about this. I think it's too early for me to give it a 5 out of 5 star ranking or rating, but this is an easy 4.5 out of 5 star. Kamelot's one of those bands where I don't know if I've ever given any of their albums less than 4 stars. I mean, the whole catalog is just littered with gems that are like, they're all really good to great to absolutely drop dead spectacular. That's just this band. And this is, this album has a little bit of interesting history. If you look at the recording and creation of this album, they actually wanted to release this like a couple of years ago, but due to the pandemic and whatnot, they kind of held out a little bit, fine-tuned it. Apparently they went to the studio and recorded 20 some odd songs, or I don't know if they recorded 20 some odd songs, but they had 20 some odd songs ready to go. Here we've got 12, 13 tracks on this one, and 13 to be exact. And you have to wonder if the follow-up to this might not be that far off, because they've got all that material that they've been working on that's probably ready to go. So my guess is they'll probably go out, do a tour, and then before you blink, we'll have another Kamelot record, as opposed to releasing a big, huge double album, which I'm okay with that because that would have been way too much. This is already a lot of music as it is. So, yeah. But anyway, The Awakening from Kamelot Napalm Records. If you've heard it already, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't, you must go out and listen to this. Go check it out. Go pick it up, however you digest your music, and let us know what you think. And visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell to get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page. So thanks a lot, everybody. Stay tuned. I don't think there'll be any more new albums reviews today. You might get one. You never know. I have one that's almost ready to go, so maybe I'll get that to you later. I know a few of you have commented asking when I'm going to be doing this next review / cooking show, and I do want to do that pretty soon, so that'll be fun. So basically what I'll do is I'll be kind of as I'm cooking a little dish and telling you how I'm making it, I'm going to review a CD that that I have on the plate to do, and that'll be coming because I know we did that once many years ago, and I happened to, thanks to Craig Kaminsky, I happened to revisit that episode from I don't know, 8 years ago or whatever. It's terrible. The sound is terrible, but the idea is pretty cool. So I hadn't watched that in many years. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to revisit that again because I think that could be much better with the better camera, the microphone, and getting it contained a little better, not playing music in the background because you could barely hear me in the first one, which is a shame because I was talking about some cool albums and making a really cool dish, right? Cool sandwich. But yeah, so that'll be upcoming real soon. I'm kind of plotting when I'm going to do that, when I'll have time where maybe I'm here at the house alone. I can have the whole kitchen to myself and get the equipment set up, and I think that'll be fun. So anyway, blah 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 blah. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you real soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good one. We got coming up, like I said, in the weeks ahead. We've got new Cold Stairs. We got new Night Demon. Can't wait to bring that one to you. We've got new Redemption. We've got new Transatlantic Live. We got London, Odense Ensemble. We've got all sorts of other stuff. So we got the Genesis box set, the BBC broadcast. So it's plenty for me that I got to dig into and dive into and bring it all to you. So that's kind of what the next couple of Wednesdays are looking like. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you real soon here, right? Have a good one. Bye-bye.